is the demons. We is the demons. I would invest so much into little like workstations like this, because like when I had this as like a 12 and 13-year-old, it opened me up. It was so much fun because it opened, especially as like a religious, homes, like as a religious like sheltered kid, it opened me up to so many different cultures and ideas in like in one day. Like in every day you had new animations and people were competing for stars. And what I would do was write horror stories and they had so many different libraries that you could that this is when I actually loved myself. And so Slender Horror Stories, so this got so many stars. I remember I posted it to the horror the horror thing, and I got so many stars. And you were really good animator if you got like color stars. Like you're a really good animator if you got color stars. So this is was me on my DSI when I was 13, and I loved the animations and the animations that I saw. And there were so many different fandoms, and they were so fucking cool. There were the legends. There was Epic Epic Guitar was one of my favorites because he was a missionary actually, and he disappeared, and he was a mission, and everybody was like, where did he go? He was like one of the legends. And on flip note, back in 12 and 13, and then there was Ari Cat was one of my favorites. She had such good animations. I was like, I want to animate like that. That is so cool. She would make like warrior cat animations. Oh, and then who's that one funky cat girl? The with the um who's that one girl with the who's that one girl with uh and then you get introduced to so many different music. Like people find music and they animate to it, and then you're introduced to so many different sounds. And as a sheltered kid, it was such a blessing because I was like, this is I have such a resource now to make artwork. So the reason I love voices is because me and my sister we role play with our selects, and 12 and 13, that's when we started like going through puberty, and we really hated each other. Like we lived in the same room. For 4 years and didn't talk to each other. We were all homeschooled and sheltered. It was hell on this planet, on this house, in this house, on my mama. I swear to God, it was hell. And but like before puberty, me and my sister we would write books and comics about and shoot videos and animate about these shellacs that we would go to Target for. We would go to Target. We'd be like, let's go to Target. Let's go to Target, please. We gotta see if they got the shellacs that we want, because we already had the characters for it and the names for them. And I remember like for years I was searching for the Frisian Stallion, because that was Stormy Blaze as the king of Shellac Land. And I was 12, I was 11, and it was so important. And I was like, Dad, let's go to Target. Please, let's go to shopping, Dad. We're going to go to Target. Which shellacs did you get? Did you get did they have the ones that we wanted? We were looking for the Frisian Stallion because that was the king. And one time we went to Toys R Us and there he was. And we flipped the shit. It was $8, and it was right after my birthday. I had enough money, believe it or not. And so I was like, hell yeah, the story is complete. Now we can move on to series two, where Stormy's grown up and he's the king now. He won the war. He's having kids and he's partying with everybody, with his adult friends. And Bella is his beautiful wife. This Bella was a Stormy Blaze was a Frisian. Thunderous was his mother. I was so happy as a child. So like we had so many. We Dad built a shelf to so we could like display our selects on. We had so many. I had 56. We were competing. Me and my sister. We were competing against each other. I had 56 selects. I think we still have them somewhere. And Katie had like 60 or Katie was older than me, but uh, so uh, and then so we would they were so intriguing to us. We were so bored. We were homeschooled, so like we would just play these games with Mapletown structures with our selects, these little German toys, and they all had names. This was before puberty. We had so many stories for these little selects. We had to take a photo. We took videos of our little sister Libby would sit on the bed and just watch these role plays that we had with these little German shellac toys, and we would shoot movies. We would with Gettysburg soundtrack music because that's all we were allowed to listen to. We had Fuzzy the Spider. We made that on iMovie, and then was introduced to YouTube, and then uh, I started like uploading videos. I started shooting and editing videos. Fall 2013, winter 2. It was so much fun to have a camera and to just like go around the forest and shoot vlogs with my siblings. We were like really creepy people. Like we would just like play these games, and then so that was like, and then but anyway, I don't know why I started. So why do you like horses so much? So Bella was a not an Andalusian. Yes, she was. Bella was an Andalusian. Stormy was a Frisian. Bolt, his cousin, was a the yellow horse with black socks. What are those horses called? Horses are cool. I don't know. I saw like Bolt was Stormy's cousin, and Bolt's dad was an alcoholic. He would go through the bubble can because Shalex would get drunk from they would get drunk from pop. We were allowed like one can of pop a week on Fridays, and we were like, oh my god, we got so high off of this can of pop. We would watch one movie a Friday night with a can of pop and a pizza, and it was Lord of the Rings every Friday. We're like, what do you want to watch? Lord of the Rings. What is wrong with you kids? We watch it every week. I don't know. That's all I want to watch. Those are the only good movies, bro. I would tell that to my dad. I would be like, watch Lord of the Rings. So this was before puberty. When I started bleeding out of my vagina hole that everybody wants to see, uh, I was terrified, and I sat down on the couch, and I was like, me and my mom were already enemies in the womb. So I sit down and I look at my mom. I'm like, I need to talk to you, mom. I was 14. I hated this bitch. I was like, all right, I need to talk to you, mom. And she sits down on the couch in the living room, and then she just looks at me in disgust, and she's like, wow, you got your period or something? And I'm just like, yeah. And she goes into the bathroom, and then she gets out these pads, and she's like, so you just like wear these pads? And I was just like, I hate that shit. It's like a diaper. What the fuck? Ew, ew. I hate that shit. I didn't want to wear a pad. It was disgusting. It felt like a diaper. So I would like I would like I would wear three pairs of underwear instead of wearing a pad during my period. And like I remember like me and my sister would build tents in our room that we shared and to hide from Katie. And we had a little TV, and then I remember like I hated my period, and I would hang out with my little sister. She didn't understand it. She was like, why does this smell so bad? I was just like, I hate wearing pads. I don't know. And like it's a wound. It's my vagina is like a hole. It's a bullet wound. It's like a bullet hole. Like I didn't grow up wanting to be famous. I grew up wanting to be a man. I wanted to be a boy. Because they were allowed to play soccer. They were allowed to wear pants. They were allowed to go to school. They were allowed to play sports. They were allowed to hook up with all the girls they wanted. They were allowed to be sluts. My older brothers. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to stick around for long, but like I have little brothers, so like I want to stick around for my little brother. I was like, what my older brothers put me through is why I do everything for my little brothers. So I think that's like where the culture divide is. Like there's an old culture that I've been trying to like escape from with my artwork for so long, and there's a new culture that I've been trying to create and trying to communicate with, and possibly maybe I am God, maybe not. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, what is God? God is dead, said Nietzsche. God is dead. God is dead. Nietzsche. Nietzsche. Nietzsche.